Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. On this Memorial Day, it's great to be here with Rebecca and Whit.
It is nice to be here, Michael, and it is Memorial Day as we remember the sacrifice of so many service members for our country.
And President Biden will be at Arlington National Cemetery later this morning to lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier and deliver an address.
Cannot wait for that. But we begin with dangerous storms threatening millions of Americans. At least 18 people in 4 states killed over the holiday weekend as some 24 tornadoes were reported. Maria Villarreal is in hard-hit Valley View, Texas for us this morning. Good morning to you, Maria.
Hey, good morning, Michael. When people got that tornado warning on their phones, they literally had minutes to decide what they were going to do. Many of them ditched their cars right here in the parking lot and ended up in the building you see right behind me. More than 100 inside sheltering in place. It was absolutely demolished, sending debris and cars flying more than a half a mile away.
Cover your head. Cover your head.
This morning, a closer look at the terrifying moments an EF2 tornado touched down in Valley View, Texas, about an hour north of Dallas. Winds gusting up to 135 miles per hour as 200 homes and businesses destroyed, including this roadside gas station, which our Samara Theodora visited shortly after the tornado struck.
It was here at this gas station where 60 to 80 people ran for their lives seeking shelter, with one survivor describing this like a scene out of a movie.
Officials confirming this weather system is to blame for at least 18 deaths in 4 different states. Oklahoma, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Texas, where a 2-year-old and 5-year-old were killed.
In the moments that you're on the floorboard, what's running through your head?
It was scary. The most horrific thing I've ever gone through.
You know, as of right now, the governor has declared this county in that disaster declaration, has it included in there. Right now in Texas, we're up to 106 counties in that disaster declaration, which he says is unheard of. It is not normal, and it's a big concern knowing that hurricane season is right around the corner. Michael?
Yeah, this is far from normal, Maria. Thank you so much for that. Well, the dangerous weather is on the move this morning with a flash flood warning for the I-95 corridor. Meteorologist Brittany Bell from our New York station, WABC, is tracking that threat for us. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning to you, too, and just a really active weekend. So first, I want to start by showing you all the severe weather reports over the past 24 hours. Just to put things in perspective, this was the most active severe weather day of the entire year. And now the severe weather threat that will shift farther to the east, impacting spots stretching from New York State all the way down towards Alabama, and that highest risk for tornadoes spanning from Pennsylvania all the way down towards near Raleigh, North Carolina. There's also the potential for large hail and damaging winds. And looking at the timing, that line will start to impact spots near Philadelphia around 3 p.m., closing in on the New York City area closer to 5 to 6 p.m., just making things very messy closing out this evening, and that threat for flash flooding. Rebecca?
All right, Brittany. Thank you. And that severe weather is hitting as millions head home from the holiday weekend. Our transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez, has the latest and the best times to hit the road. Is there a good time? Good morning, Gio.
There is a good time, and I'll get to that in a moment, Rebecca. Good morning. And there are a lot of people traveling right now. In fact, I want you to take a look at this right now, because on Friday, the TSA screened more than 2.9 million people nationwide. That's more than right after Thanksgiving. It even broke a record, the most people ever screened in a single day in the TSA's 22-year history. Airports will be very busy today as people start heading back home. It'll be a lot like Friday, so make sure that you give yourself enough time. So far, we aren't seeing too many cancellations. That's some good news. And of course, tens of millions are traveling by car. And there's a bit of good news there too with gas prices. The national average hovering at around $3.59 a gallon. The South seeing some of the lowest prices. Okay, so the best times to drive today: early this morning or late tonight. If you wait till this afternoon between that noon and 7 p.m. window, you very well could get stuck in traffic.
All right, important information, Gio. Thank you so much. Now we turn to the race for the White House and former President Donald Trump getting booed at the Libertarian Party convention as closing arguments are set to begin tomorrow in his criminal trial. Mary Alice Parks is in Washington with the latest. Mary Alice, good morning.
Well, good morning. Yeah, it'll be another big week in court for the former president. And it was a wild weekend for him, heckled and booed, speaking to a crowd that he had hoped he could win over. came to woo them, but was booed instead.
Now I think you should nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together.
Former President Donald Trump addressing the Libertarian Party's national convention this weekend, trying to appeal to their mutual disdain of the federal government, but his supporters clashing with the Libertarian Party members.
I will be a true friend to libertarians in the White House.
Frustrated by the heckling, Trump mocked the group that had invited him.
Keep getting your 3% every 4 years.
Libertarians want small government and expanded civil liberties. Members saying Trump raked up national debt and continued wars abroad.
Donald Trump is not a libertarian because Donald Trump is an authoritarian who doesn't believe in the rule of law, doesn't believe in the Constitution, doesn't believe in individual rights.
The Biden campaign writing in a statement, Donald Trump says his Republican Party is the party of freedom, but tell that to the women who've had the freedom to make their own health care decisions ripped away. Like other third-party candidates, libertarians have been spoilers before and could be again, especially when so many voters say they're not excited about either Trump or President Biden. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. also made a play for the Libertarian Party nomination, but fell short. He was actually eliminated in the first round of voting. Instead, the Libertarian Party nominated Chase Oliver, a 39-year-old from Atlanta, Georgia. He told me that he would cut off military aid to Israel and be a messenger for those seeking a ceasefire.
Yet another factor in this campaign. Mary Alice, while we have you, back to former President Trump in the classified documents case. Special counsel Jack Smith now asking for a gag order.
Yeah, that's right, Whit. He said that Trump's recent comments online have posed a risk to law enforcement. Trump has been making this false and really incendiary claim that Biden's DOJ authorized use of deadly force in that raid at Mar-a-Lago. In fact, newly unsealed court filings show really boilerplate language that FBI agents had to follow standard operating procedure. Whit.
All right, Mary Alice Parks for us. Thank you. Michael?
All right, thank you, Whit. Overseas now to a deadly Israeli airstrike in the Gaza city of Rafah that killed dozens of civilians. Our foreign correspondent Britt Clinton has the latest from Israel. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Michael. Yeah, dozens of people were killed or injured in an explosion in Rafah, which the IDF says is the last Hamas stronghold.
Overnight, deadly strikes at a refugee camp in western Rafah. At least 50 killed, according to Action Aid UK. They say Israeli fighter jets launched 8 missiles at makeshift shelters, quickly becoming a flaming inferno. Strikes hitting the Tal al-Sultan area, which the IDF had previously designated as a humanitarian zone. Horrifying images as the displaced living in this camp attempt to put out the flames, trying to save anyone they can. The IDF claims they killed 2 senior Hamas officials in the strikes, also saying they're aware of several civilians in the area that were harmed. This comes hours after Hamas fired rockets towards Tel Aviv for the first time in at least 4 months. This home on the outskirts of Tel Aviv with minimal damage. The IDF saying the rockets were launched from Rafah in an area with a civilian population.
And back to those strikes in Rafah, an IDF official has just told me the area hit was not a humanitarian zone, despite the claims by Hamas. Rebecca?
Okay, Britt, thank you. We turn now to the urgent search for survivors after a catastrophic landslide in Papua New Guinea, with thousands feared dead. Our foreign correspondent James Longman is tracking the very latest for us. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, Rebecca. More than 2,000 people may have been buried alive in a massive landslide in Papua New Guinea Friday. That is a new number from the Office of National Disaster. Really difficult to get a good idea on numbers because it's such a remote location. But the search and rescue operation has begun. That is dangerous because the earth is still moving. Water is still rushing underground. This is an incredibly dangerous situation for them. Heavy machinery moved in late Sunday night, but until then, people were digging with their bare hands trying to find survivors through something like 6 to 8 meters of mud. More than 150 homes have been swept away, farmland as well. Now, 2 survivors were found today, a couple deep beneath that mud. Their cries for help were heard and they were saved, but there are other survivors perhaps underneath that mud. The race is on to get to them, but this is a catastrophic situation for the people of Papua New Guinea. Michael?
Yeah, it sure is, James. Thank you for that. Now to the tragic death of 30-year-old pro golfer Grayson Murray. In the outpouring of support this morning, Will Reeve has the latest for us and what his family is saying. Good morning, Will.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. This has sent shockwaves through the golf world. Murray was playing in a tournament on Friday and withdrew near the end of his round. He was found dead the next day. Fellow PGA Tour players grieving, sharing their memories of their colleague and friend as his family mourns their son.
This morning, the golf world mourning the tragic loss of professional golfer Grayson Murray.
We're so competitive. So competitive out here. We all want to beat each other. And then something like this happens and you realize that we're all just humans.
Broadcasters announcing the 30-year-old's death during the third round of the Charles Schwab Challenge on Saturday.
Such a sad, sad day for the PGA Tour.
Murray's parents confirming Sunday that their son died by suicide, saying in part, "It's a nightmare. We have so many questions that have no answers. But one, was Grayson loved? The answer is yes." On Friday, Murray withdrew from the second round of the Charles Schwab Challenge, citing an illness. The 8-year PGA Tour veteran had been open and vulnerable about his struggles with mental health issues and alcoholism, like in this social media post last year.
It's not easy on me and the people around me that love me. They don't like to see me down, and they've been my number one supporters.
Players left speechless upon learning the news.
Obviously, it was a huge shock. My heart sank. I hate it. I miss him.
PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan saying he spoke to Murray's parents and they asked that we continue with tournament play. They were adamant that Grayson would want us to do so.
The honesty, the openness, the willingness to tell his story so others might hear it. I mean, to me, that's his legacy.
Players wore pins on their hats yesterday to honor Murray, and in their statement, his parents added, "Please honor Grayson by being kind to one another. If that becomes his legacy, we could ask for nothing else. And if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, call or text the National Lifeline at 988. Guys.
Such a tragedy, Will, but I love to hear his parents say, be kind.
Yeah.
Think about that.
If that's
honor
his legacy.
him.
Beautiful message.
Appreciate it, Will. Okay, this morning we are honoring the life of Disney legend Richard Sherman, who wrote some of the most beloved songs in Hollywood history, really the soundtrack of our childhood. Trevor Ault is here now with more on that legacy. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Rebecca. You know, even if you don't know the name of songwriter Richard Sherman, you definitely know his songs, and I bet your kids do too. He's one half of the Sherman Brothers, and they are the minds behind some classic Disney hits going back to the 1960s. And this morning, the world is singing his songs and singing his praises.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. His songs have delighted families for decades. And this morning, the world remembers legendary songwriter Richard Sherman, who alongside his brother Robert penned some of the most timeless and catchy songs of our childhood. For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
The secret of the Sherman Brothers is they play with expectations in their melody. They will sing, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Every time they say go down, the interval jumps up. I actually stole that move for a song in Hamilton when King George goes, oceans rise, empires fall. That's a straight Sherman Brothers move. Over his 65-year career, Richard Sherman had 24 gold and platinum albums, earning 3 Grammy Awards and 9 Oscar nominations.
Thank you, Academy, very much.
Including 2 Oscar wins for Best Original Score for Mary Poppins and Best Original Song for Chim Chim Cheree. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheree. The son of a songwriter, Sherman was born in New York before moving to Beverly Hills. After being drafted to the military, he served as conductor of the Army Band. Later, the Sherman Brothers were hired by Walt Disney himself.
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
The pair is now believed to be responsible for more motion picture musical song scores than any songwriting duo in history. Their work used in unforgettable moments like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
The Jungle Book,
Now I'm the king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP,
and The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
In a statement, Disney CEO Bob Iger says Richard Sherman was the embodiment of what it means to be a Disney legend, creating, along with his brother Robert, the beloved classics that have become a cherished part of the soundtrack of our lives.
Walt used to call me in on a Friday afternoon with my brother Bob, and he'd sit down over here and say, play it. I would play Feed the Birds. He loved that song.
Richard Sherman was 95 years old.
And over this legendary career, the Sherman Brothers wrote for 27 films, 24 television productions, in total more than 200 songs. I encourage everybody to look at the list because there's a bunch that I promise you've forgotten that will jog your memory and take you right back.
Just listen to the ones that they did play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. One after another. It's crazy.
Amazing legacy. All right, thank you so much for that, Trevor. Coming up, Nicki Minaj back on stage overnight after getting arrested as she left Amsterdam. What she said about the incident.
Plus, the search for suspects after a General Hospital actor was shot and killed in downtown Los Angeles.
And the new rip current warning before you head out to the beach and the most common mistake that people make in the water. But first, let's go back to Brittany Bell. Good morning.
And good morning to you, too. So today, dangerous heat. That is the main concern for spots across Texas, stretching all the way into Louisiana. That's where we have an excessive heat warning with real field temperatures approaching 118 degrees. That's what's happening across the country. Here's what's happening in your neighborhood.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different. On June 10th, 1985, New York Magazine published Hollywood's Brat Pack. I just remember seeing that cover and thinking, oh. From then on, my career and the career of everyone who was involved was branded to the Brat Pack.
I'm really sorry that article had to come out.
I've never talked to anybody about what that was like. So I thought it might be interesting to try and contact everyone who was in the Brat Pack. Hey, Emilio Estevez. This is Andrew McCarthy calling you. Hey, Allie. Hey, Demi. Hey, Molly. Let's call Rob. Hello. Judd? Me? You around? You were not interested in talking about the Brat Pack for years.
I turned everything down.
How come you're talking to me?
Because you called me. It was time that we clear the air on a couple of things.
I love your stuff, Bob. Hey, thank you. I hated the Brat Pack for decades. What a disaster. If you could have the Brat Pack name not exist, would you?
It really irritated me. They said, what's more important to you, the movie or your life? And I said,
the movie,
Andrew.
Have you talked to the others? The others, like, again, it feels like a cult or something.
Yeah. Why did we take it as an offense?
Well,
as opposed to like
the brat.
Because we were young.
We were afraid we were brats, you know. Are you in the Brat Pack?
I'm Brat Pack adjacent.
That's what I was saying.
I am not in the Brat Pack.
Don't you crush on you back in the day?
You did not, Andrew. No, you did not.
Being in the Brat Pack not only changed all of our lives, it changed what entertainment is. I mean, I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything.
Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium. There were moments.
We could have. 1985, I think we could have.
So what are you filming?
Oh, we're just doing this documentary.
What's it about?
Ancient history.
Will you call my name?
Hey, I'm Andy Mitchell, a New York Times bestselling author.
And I'm Sabrina Kohlberg, a morning television producer. We're moms of toddlers and best friends of 20 years.
And we both love to talk about being parents, yes, but also pop culture.
So we're combining our two interests by talking to celebrities, writers, and fellow scholars of TV and movies.
Cinema, really.
About what we all can learn from the fictional moms we love to watch.
From ABC Audio and Good Morning America, Pop Culture Moms is out now wherever you listen to podcasts.
We've got the exclusive view behind the table. Every day, right after the show, while the topics are still hot, the ladies go deeper into the moments that make the View the View. The Views Behind the Table podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's get to the top headlines we're following right now, including the new round of weather creating chaos for millions this holiday weekend. After 72 reported tornadoes left a trail of destruction across 12 states and severe storms killed at least 18 people. Also right now, Massachusetts police have identified a suspect in the stabbings of 4 girls inside a movie theater Saturday. They say 26-year-old Jared Ravisa is also suspected of stabbing 2 employees at a McDonald's later that evening. Police said the theater attack appeared to be unprovoked. The 4 girls between the ages of 9 and 17 years old, and their injuries are not life-threatening.
Also right now, Bruce Springsteen is postponing more shows on his European tour. The boss rescheduled a show in France Saturday due to the vocal issues and now says he will postpone 3 shows in Prague and Milan under doctor's direction. Springsteen had to delay multiple dates last fall due to a peptic ulcer. And it is back-to-back wins for Joseph Newgarden at the Indianapolis 500. He took home the checkered flag to become the first driver to win in consecutive years at the Brickyard in more than 2 decades. It was like deja vu.
Yeah, big accomplishment right there.
A really big accomplishment. And we've got a lot more ahead, including the best sales out there this Memorial Day. Becky Worley is tracking the biggest deals. That's coming up.
All right, we're going to turn now to Nicki Minaj, back on stage last night in England after being arrested at an Amsterdam airport for allegedly having marijuana in her bag. Stephanie Ramos is here with more. Good morning, Stephanie.
Michael, good morning. Rapper Nicki Minaj was arrested by Amsterdam police for allegedly carrying drugs. She denies those allegations.
Overnight, rap superstar Nicki Minaj returning to the stage and sharing highlights on Instagram of her Pink Friday 2 World Tour, just 1 day after her arrest for possession of drugs at an Amsterdam airport. Saturday, as the 41-year-old was preparing to fly to the UK for a concert in Manchester, authorities stopping the rapper, alleging they found marijuana pre-rolls in her luggage. Minaj, whose real name is Onika Mirage Petty, live streaming the confrontation on Instagram, which has since been deleted. Minaj calling the incident an attempt to sabotage the remainder of her tour, claiming that her bags were taken without her consent, writing, "My security has already advised them those pre-rolls belong to him." The multi-platinum artist also pointing out Amsterdam's liberal marijuana laws. Dutch police taking the hip-hop star into custody, but later releasing her after charging a fine. Her concert in Manchester postponed to a later date.
Even with countries with lax cannabis policies, I would say just leave the marijuana and even hemp at home. And just like Nicki Minaj couldn't leave the Netherlands with marijuana, she also couldn't land in the UK with it either.
The super bass hitmaker apologizing to her fans in a lengthy post on X, saying, "Please, please, please accept my deepest and most sincere apologies. They sure did know exactly how to hurt me today, but this too shall pass."
While Amsterdam has gained a reputation as a destination spot for marijuana, the drug remains illegal in the country, though it is decriminalized for personal use. Nicki Minaj has a couple more performances in the UK scheduled for this week.
All right.
Know before you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. We turn now to the General Hospital actor shot and killed on an LA street and the search for suspects this morning. Zareen Shah has the latest. Good morning, Zareen.
Rebecca, just a disturbing story. Johnny Wachter was a soap star, and like many actors, he had a side gig, and that is where he was coming from when his life ended due to what appears to be a random act of violence. This morning, an urgent hunt for suspects after the killing of former General Hospital star Johnny Wachter.
We were together, Sasha. I wasn't thinking about anything other than just you and me.
Wachter, best known for his role as Brando Corbin on General Hospital, was shot and killed in downtown Los Angeles Saturday night. The 37-year-old was walking to his car with a female colleague after finishing his shift at Level 8, a popular rooftop bar. According to police, when he arrived at the parking lot, he found 3 people huddled around his vehicle. Authorities say he initially thought the car was getting towed, but the group was in fact trying to steal the catalytic converter. That's a car part that's become a common target for thieves across the country because of its valuable metal components. Witnesses say before Wachter could even confront the thieves, one opened fire, all 3 then speeding off in another car. Wachter dying a short time later.
That's your decision. I respect that.
In addition to daytime TV, he was also a familiar face on primetime TV.
What'd I do?
Having appeared on Criminal Minds and on NCIS. Overnight, General Hospital put out a statement praising Wachter, writing, "He was truly one of a kind and a pleasure to work with each and every day." His mother speaking to ABC News saying, "There are not enough words to tell what a beautiful soul he was." there is a very large hole on our hearts and lives. And Johnny's TV wife, Sophia Matson, saying he was the absolute best. So genuine, so caring, hardworking, incredibly humble. His mother also adding that she hopes the suspects are caught and that there is justice for her son. Guys.
All right, Zareen Shaw with that sad news this morning. Thank you. We do turn now to an ABC News exclusive with the Pennsylvania father who was released this weekend after being detained in Turks and Caicos. Brian Hagerich was arrested in February for possession of ammunition. He was facing 12 years in prison. He and his wife Ashley spoke to our Matt Rivers.
Just the idea of quite literally having to prepare for either going home or going to prison. Like, what does that look like?
Home's obviously easy. Prison is a whole different feeling that even to this day, right now, I don't think you can ever prepare yourself for it.
He sent me a list of everything that he would have needed for prison, and we brought down the green suitcase, and that was the not good suitcase. Doomsday suitcase.
You literally had 2 suitcases packed, one for home, one for
The black
prison.
suitcase was home, the green suitcase was Doomsday.
Hagerich was given a 52-week suspended sentence and fined $6,700. 4 other Americans have been charged with possessing ammunition in Turks and Caicos. Similar charges. Hagerich says they've set some precedent here with his sentencing. You can see much more of our exclusive interview with Brian Hagerich tomorrow on GMA.
All right, coming up next, the new rip current warning before you head to the beach this Memorial Day. Stay right there. We're back now with a new rip current warning as so many head to the beach this holiday. Ariel Resniff is along the water at Rockaway Beach in New York with what you need to know to stay safe. Good morning, Ariel.
Hey, good morning to you, Michael. You know, 80% of lifeguard rescues are due to rip currents. Experts say that they can happen at any beach where there are breaking waves like where we are. And lifeguards tell us that it is vital to heed the warnings like flags like this one that say no swimming, and also knowing what to do and what not to do can save lives.
This morning, as millions head to the beach this holiday, a summer warning about how to stay safe from a life-threatening danger in the water.
We have this really, really rough water. We have very strong rip currents.
Officials say roughly a dozen people rescued from a series of strong rip currents in Galveston, Texas this weekend. A 26-year-old tourist from Louisiana and a 19-year-old from Houston did not survive. And just last week, 3 Good Samaritans rescuing this teen, exhausted in a Florida rip current.
Kid was going underwater numerous times. I yelled for him to swim to me.
Seth Stern and 2 others managing to pull the teen to safety. Stern admitting he struggled.
I'm a pretty decent swimmer, and that current was really ripping me.
Safety experts warn would-be rescuers often become victims themselves, simply because it's much more tiring than it seems.
Water rescue takes a lot of training and a lot of physical endurance. You're trying to hold someone up. Now you don't have the use of your arms.
If you do attempt a rescue, experts say bring something that floats, like a boogie board.
If you make contact with the drowning victim, keep it between you and the drowning victim so that they have that to climb on and not you.
The best way not to become the victim of a rip current is knowing how to swim out of one. In 2022, our Matt Gutman partnered with the Huntington Beach Fire Department to learn just that. One of the most common mistakes is trying to swim back to the shore by swimming against the current.
The thing with the rip current is it's moving about as fast as an Olympic swimmer, so unless you're Michael Phelps, you're probably not going to beat him.
Instead, experts say the first thing to do is flip and float. This will help you stay calm. The next move, swimming parallel to shore, following the direction of the coastline until you feel that rip current stop pulling, then swimming at an angle back to shore.
And experts say that rip currents can be hard to spot, but if you take a walk up a little bit higher on higher ground when you get to the beach before you get in the water, you turn around and you look at the water and you see any places where the waves aren't breaking, or you see any sediment floating back out to sea, any foam floating back out to sea, that could be a sign of trouble. You always want to be prepared. Have your cell phone fully charged when you go to the beach. And again, take a flotation device like perhaps a boogie board or even an empty cooler. That can make all the difference in an emergency. Guys.
Hey, great advice there, Ariel. Thank you so much for that. And coming up next, we have our play of the day. You don't want to miss it.
We are back now with our play of the day. The New York Rangers icing out the Panthers in a thrilling Game 3 as the NHL playoffs heat up. Will Reeve is back with the highlights, as I like to say, fly, biscuit, fly. Hey, hi, Will.
Hello, Rebecca. Is your hockey team getting played off the ice and it looks like they have no chance to win? You should enlist the services of Barclay Goodrow. That is not a law firm, but a hockey player. He has got 6 goals for the New York Rangers in 13 playoff games this spring. He scored just 4 in 80 regular season games. Friday night at MSG, Goodrow scored the overtime winner against the Florida Panthers to tie the series at 1. And then yesterday afternoon in Florida, this is Alexis Lafreniere scoring a gorgeous goal. Cool. And then Goodrow later on would score a shorthanded goal to put the Rangers up 4-2, but then the Panthers in their own building came roaring back, scoring 2 goals in a matter of minutes to tie it. They were dominating the whole game. This was crazy. Normally, the team that wins Game 3 in a tied Stanley Cup playoff series goes on to win the series 66% of the time. So when they headed to overtime, the Rangers really needed to win if they wanted to have a chance. It's hard to do, though, when you're on the road. But ultimately, when we do get to overtime, a shot from the point from Ryan Lindgren, tipped in by Alex Wenberg. The Rangers win. They're up 2-1. This is hockey at the highest level. It's a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of stress if you're a fan.
Emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. Game 4, Florida
Game
tomorrow
4
night.
tomorrow, ESPN, 8 o'clock Eastern in Florida. And then come back to the Garden Thursday. Strahan might be there. I don't know.
I went last
You're
time.
kind of bad luck.
They didn't win, so I don't know if I'm allowed back. 'Cause I want them to win.
Yeah, you do. So do I.
Thanks
so
for
don't
the
go.
play-by-play, Will.
You got it.
Okay, coming up, we are getting our grill on this morning with Chef Tyler Florence sharing his secrets to the best barbecue and the ultimate potato salad. I love a potato salad, a good one. Yes, please.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Memorial Day washout. A new round of storms creating chaos after a weekend of deadly weather, and where the record heat is expected to soar as millions head home from the holiday weekend. Our transportation correspondent Gio Benitez with the best and worst times to hit the road as a record number of Americans head to the airport.
As we mark 2 years since the deadly Uvalde school shooting, the powerful new ABC News documentary about the families at the center of the tragedy, their resilience, hope, and fight for justice.
Get ready for a summer of savings with the best Memorial Day sales out there. From outdoor gear to beat the heat to cool clothing and the big ticket items you should wait to buy.
From the Matrix to a galaxy far, far away, Carrie Ann Moss is live as she gets ready to join the Star Wars universe as a Jedi Master. Good morning, America. It's great to be with Rebecca and Whit on this Memorial Day. And you are looking live at Arlington National Cemetery, where those who gave their lives to defend their country have been laid to rest.
We honor and thank them and their families for their service and sacrifice.
That we do. We do turn now to the top stories breaking at 8, starting with the dangerous storms threatening millions of Americans. At least 18 people in 4 states were killed over the holiday weekend as some 24 tornadoes were reported.
Maria Villarreal is in hard-hit Valley View, Texas. Good morning, Maria.
Hey, good morning, Michael. This tornado left a lot of damage in its wake. Take a look right behind me. You can actually see these cars right here. The windows have been blown out. Debris is everywhere. And as you look closer to the building over here, you can actually see a car was picked up and thrown onto several others. And that's with more than 100 people sheltering inside that gas station.
This morning, a closer look at the terrifying moments an EF2 tornado touched down in Valley View, Texas, about an hour north of Dallas.
In the moments that you're on the floorboard, what's running through your head?
It was scary. The most horrific thing I've ever gone through.
Winds gusting up to 135 miles per hour as 200 homes and businesses destroyed. Officials confirming this weather system is to blame for at least 18 deaths in 4 different states. Oklahoma, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Texas, where a 2-year-old and 5-year-old were killed.
The National Weather Service tells me they believe more than one tornado actually hit this area. They're going to be surveying the area throughout the day to double check what exactly hit here. We do know that 106 Texas counties are under a disaster declaration. The governor says that is not normal for this area in these last few months, and they are very concerned with hurricane season right around the corner. Whit?
Yep, bracing for that. All right, Maria, thank you so much. And that severe weather hitting as millions head home from the holiday weekend. Our transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez, has the latest and the best times to hit the road. Gio, good morning.
Hey, Whit, good morning again. Yeah, pretty bad storm just moved through here, so that's what you want to watch for because so many people are traveling right now. I want to show you what happened on Friday because it was quite record-breaking. The TSA screened more than 2.9 million people across the country. That's more than right after Thanksgiving, and the most people ever screened in a single day in the TSA's 22-year history. Now, again, airports will be very busy today because people are going to be heading back home. It's a lot like Friday, so make sure you give yourself enough time. Get to the airports early. So far, even with this weather, we aren't seeing too many cancellations or delays, so that's some good news right now. If you are traveling by road, as tens of millions are right now, there's some good news with gas prices. The national average hovering at around $3.59 a gallon. The South, of course, seeing some of the lowest prices. California seeing some of the highest prices right now. And when you should get on the road? Well, this morning or later tonight, because if you wait till like between 12 and 7 p.m., you may hit some traffic. That's true for tomorrow as well. Rebecca?
So just sit tight, enjoy the day. Take off later today. Gio, thank you. We turn now to the biggest Memorial Day sales. Becky Worley joins us with the best deals and last minute sales right now. Good morning, Becky.
Rebecca, good morning. These holiday sales weekends are opportunities to get a rare discount as we're seeing inflation slowly recede. So my advice to consumers, focus your attention on big ticket items that you may need between now and let's say mid to late summer when we see Prime Day and Labor Day sales. So let's start with appliances. Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy all have appliance sales live now. An example, I found an LG dryer at Best Buy. It was $8.49. Now it's $5.49. Plus you get a $75 Best Buy gift card thrown in there to sweeten the deal. Another big ticket category, mattresses. A memory foam brand I'd never heard of, but it's really highly rated on Wirecutter as a budget pick, is called Novilla. A queen at Amazon, it was $3.49. Now it's $2.40. These big ticket items are where you want to focus your attention.
Okay, we like that, Becky. How about places to stock up now for future?
Spend to save. You've been paying attention. I like it. You get an A, Rebecca. This is all about forward thinking. So gift cards. At Costco and Sam's Club, you can buy a $100 Instacart gift card for $80. Over at Target, if you spend $50 on home care products, you get a $15 Target gift card on top of that. Two other quick Target deals to mention. Sunscreen, 20% off. Summer clothes, shorts, sandals, swim, all 30% off.
I'm buying all the 6 and 7 tees for next year. Becky, it is Memorial Day. How about military discounts?
Yeah, it's good to reflect on the meaning of the holiday when we talk about these sales. Many retailers offer special military discounts. Bass Pro Shops has an extra 10% off for military folks and veterans. Columbia Sportswear has an extra 20% off. Lowe's and Home Depot offer 10% off year-round. Under Armour has 20% off right now, and this is a really good deal. Walgreens and Duane Reade have 20% off all regularly priced items in store only for veterans. A great way to appreciate those who have served and sacrificed for our country, Rebecca.
Absolutely. Thank you, Becky.
Becky's not done. It's coming up on our GMA menu. Becky Worley, she's going to be back with more Memorial Day sales, including outdoor gear for your summer adventures.
Can't get enough, Becky. Also ahead, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. How one dad is honoring his son and the small gesture that can make a huge impact for someone who needs support.
Plus, we are stepping into the Matrix with Carrie Ann Moss here live, and Chef Tyler Florence has the secrets for your best Memorial Day cookout. That's all coming up right here on GMA.
Welcome back to GMA on this Memorial Day, and we've just marked 2 years since the deadly school shooting tragedy in Uvalde, Texas. John Keown has spent the following year there reporting on the community's fight for justice. That experience now the center of his new book with Maria Elena Salinas, 1 Year in Uvalde, a story of hope and resilience, and the new documentary, Print It Black. John, good morning to you. And we just mentioned how much time you spent there in Uvalde with the family. So you had a chance to really get to know them. Can you tell us how they're doing now?
It's a struggle. It still is a struggle. It's hard to believe it's been 2 years now. But there's been a bit of resolution. Last week, the families, 19 of them, reached a settlement with the city of Uvalde for $2 million. They still, though, don't feel that they have all the answers they need. They still want accountability. So they're suing the state. They're suing the federal government because there were 150 federal agents who responded to Robb Elementary. They're suing the manufacturer that made the AR-15 style rifle. They're suing social media, Instagram, and the company that makes Call to Duty, the video game that these families argue trains and desensitizes young adolescents who commit these crimes.
Yeah, I'm sure the family's pain will never go away. 2 years or however long it's been, it'll never go away. And now you got the new ABC News Live documentary, Print It Black. It tells it from a different perspective. It tells it from the local news perspective. So tell us about that.
It's a story about this little town newspaper. It's small, only 8 reporters, and how it grapples with not only covering the tragedy in their backyard, but also mourning, because it seems like everyone at the paper knew someone who passed away in that tragedy. And we call it Print It Black because the day after the shooting, the staff decided to put just a blank slate, a black slate on the front page, no pictures, just a black slate with the words May 24th, 2022.
Let's take a look at a clip.
I have covered child homicides before. I have requested autopsies. And now my daughter's autopsy will be made public one day.
It's a butterfly on the butterfly.
That is Kimberly Rubio and her husband, Felix. And they lost their 10-year-old daughter that day. Lexi, yeah. But both of them from that were called into action.
Yeah, she was a reporter. Can you imagine when the call comes in, everybody's trying to cover the story, and so she runs barefoot at one point to Robb Elementary. Her husband, Felix, is a sheriff's deputy. He was off duty that day. He throws on his uniform and he goes because they needed reinforcements. But because it took so long for those law enforcement officers, 376 of them, to take down the shooter, it was hours before they knew that their daughter Lexi was among the victims.
And you and your colleague Maria Elena Salinas, you read the book about your year there in that community. 1 year in Uvalde, a story of hope and resilience. In those families, they really show a lot of resilience for their fight for justice.
And we did a whole year there. We spent with producers and reporters and camera crews, and we wound up producing almost 300 stories during that year, Mike. And then we also did 5 documentaries, including this one, which tells the story again about the small town newspaper. It was just amazing the way that community came together and the way that newspaper wound up having to cover it. So in many ways it's inspiring because the families are now politically active. They took a heartache and they turned it into activism. Some of them are running for political office. They're staging protests. They're staging marches. Kimberly Rubio ran for mayor. The uncle of one of the other victims, Jackie Cáceres, Jesse Rizzo, was just elected to the school board last week. So in many ways, as heartbreaking as this tragedy is, it's still inspiring in some ways.
And what is your biggest takeaway?
Well, again, the people and how inspiring they are, and how through all the heartbreak they've turned it into a positive, and they're trying to change gun laws, and they're doing all they can to again keep the memory of their children and those 2 teachers alive.
And thank you, John, for keeping it alive as well. We appreciate you as always. You can see Print It Black tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC News Live and on Hulu. Now let's go to Brittany Bell. Hey, Brittany.
Hey, Michael. So first, I want to start by showing you this video of intense hail coming down near Baldwin, Missouri. So intense that it's just knocking over tree branches and even some leaves in the background. So that severe threat now pushing east, heading across the I-95 corridor. spanning from New York State all the way down towards portions of Alabama. So some of these storms could produce intense rainfall rates. That's why we have the threat for flash flooding and elevated risk, including the Poconos, the Catskills, stretching as far south as Baltimore. That's what's happening across the country. Here's what's going on closer to home.
When it comes to winning elections, is it really the economy, stupid? Are soccer moms the quintessential swing voter? And does it matter which candidate you'd rather share a beer with? Every election cycle, cliches come easy. But are they right? In a new series on the 538 Politics podcast, we're taking a look back at conventional wisdom from past elections. Where did that wisdom come from? And does it hold up today? Find the Campaign Throwback series in the 538 Politics feed wherever you get your podcasts.
People who disappear without a trace.
Where is she?
The most notorious murder cases in New York.
Pure evil.
And the most devious killers.
There's a Hannibal Lecter feel to him.
For chilling true crime stories, follow the True Crime NYC podcast wherever you listen.
And now to our GMA cover story, Memorial Day sales. ABC's consumer correspondent Becky Worley back with more deals that you don't want to miss. Becky, good morning once again. Let's rock and roll on this one, okay? Summer clothing sales. What are you finding?
Well, let's rock and roll indeed, because one thing I know, people like to get out and shop for summery clothes on Memorial Day. So clothes, shoes, those discounts are all over. J.Crew has 40% off everything online. The Gap has 50% off of t-shirts, shorts, tanks, summer dresses. Old Navy has 50% off of almost everything. Also, I love JCPenney for summer basics. They have 30% off with the code MEMDAY. For example, I found a pair of men's big and tall shorts. They were marked down. They were $50. Now they're just $20. Now let's move over to those kicks. Adidas has 30% off of everything with the code SUMMER. DSW has a lot of cute sneaks on sale. The Nike Court Visions, they're $59. They were $80. And I like these because they look a lot like Air Force Ones. They're just a little lower, but they're way cheaper. Cole Haan has up to 50% off of a bunch of items and a big sale on summer shoes. They have the original Grand sandals. The footbed is like sneakers, super comfy. Were $160, now $99. Clearly, I'm a sneakerhead and a shoe person here with.
Yeah, well, you got some in here in the studio as well. All right, for those of us who like the great outdoors, what items are you finding on sale?
Okay, gear for summer fun. REI having their biggest sale of the year. I found a super portable camp stove. It was $69. Now it's $41. Outdoor furniture, you're going to see some discounts. The most discounts come at the end of summer, but you need it in the summer. So a 4-piece outdoor seating set at Bed Bath & Beyond, it was $778, now $217. That's a really good discount. Summer toys, Walmart has an inflatable paddleboard. It was $599, now it's $224. And with all that money you save, you may want to buy an air compressor because blowing those things up is no joke.
That is absolutely true. All right, mattresses. We're seeing the commercials all over the place. Is this the right time for bedding, though?
Absolutely. Mattresses, bedding sales, lots of good ones out there. Macy's, let's get to sheets right away, has a high thread count sheet set that's been running about $102. Now it's marked down to $49. They also have memory foam pillows on sale at Macy's. The Biopedic Contour Gel Pillow was $56, now just $30. Finally, mattresses should only be purchased on these sales weekends. We're going to see another opportunity on Labor Day and again around Black Friday. So if you need one now, Sealy has a cooling memory foam option. It's called the Chill Mattress. It was over $1,000 and now it's just $699.
Okay, great info there. All right, let's talk about tech, because as we look ahead to some future sales, Amazon Prime Day coming up. What about now? Can you get a good deal right now?
Is meh an appropriate answer? Meh? Yeah, kinda. They're going to get better around Prime Day, as you mentioned, and back to school too. Lowest around Black Friday. But if you have to have it now, maybe it's a graduation present or Father's Day gift, then there are some discounts. So let's start with a 4-pack of Apple AirTags. They were $99, now $79, and that's at Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon. You'll see that deal everywhere, but it won't last. Also, if your laptop has died and you just have to replace it ASAP, Dell has a code that takes 10% off of any products with AMD processors. So, yeah, there's some good stuff out there if you need it now.
It's something, and I appreciate the Father's Day shout-outs. Everybody can prep and get ready, get Dad something nice. Thank you, Becky. We appreciate it. And
Super
you can
Dad's
shop
right there on set. We love you guys.
Thank you, Becky. You can shop all of these sales using the QR code at the bottom of your screen right there. And for even more Memorial Day deals, you can head to goodmorningamerica.com.
All right. Now to our celebration of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month and the diverse group of beauty moguls behind the biggest makeup products that embrace every face. Rena Roy is here with that story. Good morning, Rena.
Hey, Rebecca. Good morning to you. Well, we're always seeing influencers dropping their skincare and makeup routines, right? Sharing the latest must-haves with their followers. And many of today's most viral products are coming to us from increasingly diverse founders who are striving to make sure there's something out there for everyone.
This shade specifically is called She's That Girl, and she definitely is that girl.
Like after like, share after share.
Are you kidding me? Do you see this concealer snatch under my eye?
Social media is taking influencing to a new level, with 1 in 4 people on TikTok buying a product after seeing a review, and 81% of those sales in the beauty and health space.
Eyeliner is one such thing that every gender in India wears.
Experts say one big reason behind this massive beauty boom is inclusivity and cultural connection.
The fact that there are different beauty founders and that they're so visible today and that you can really connect directly with them through social media has been so valuable.
This brand, Mango People, is actually founded by a fellow brown girl, so she just gets it.
Makeup brand Mango People making the rounds on social media with this multi-stick that can be used on everything from cheeks and eyelids to lips. Chemical engineer turned CEO Shravya Adusumili starting the company in the basement of her parents' home after struggling to find shades that matched her skin tone. The makeup line inspired by the ancient Indian system of Ayurveda, one of the world's oldest holistic healing practices.
Even to this day, if you read our ingredient list, it reads like a grocery list, and you can almost recognize, like, it's filled with fruits and vegetables, and you can probably find a lot of them in your kitchen.
Take a picture, got you shut. One Size Beauty CEO Patrick Starr, also no stranger to going viral.
Every time I go to Sephora and I tried looking for this thing, it was sold out.
The Until Dawn mattifying waterproof setting spray so popular that one unit is sold every 12 seconds.
I think it held up pretty well.
The thing that I think really causes a product to go viral is the incredible demonstrability of a beauty product and how you could see the change happening before your very eyes.
And beyond the products, Starr's personal story shining through to his massive audience.
I'm just so proud to be part of a movement where we can feel represented. I never saw any Filipino gay beauty brand or person be seen on TV or on my screen, and now we're seeing so many types of different cultures represented.
And if you are interested in those brands we just mentioned, we've got some shoppable items on our website. Great way to support them. And of course, never a bad idea to refresh that makeup and skincare cabinet, especially as we head into summer.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, Rena.
Thanks.
And we are stepping into the Matrix with Carrie Ann Moss live coming up next. Stay with us.
Well, you know our next guest from playing Trinity in the Matrix series. Now, Carrie Ann Moss is taking her action skills into a galaxy far, far away, starring in the upcoming series Star Wars: The Acolyte. Carrie Ann Moss, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And the show's creator said that this is Trinity with a lightsaber.
I'm glad she didn't say that to me, because maybe I wouldn't have done it.
But what does it feel like? How is it to play a Jedi Master?
Yeah, I know. I loved it. I think that the energy of a Jedi with that, you know how they talk about that kung fu kind of like force field?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that idea that we all have this energetic system, and these Jedis are training to have that energetic system. So that was really interesting. I'm a meditator, so that's like a concept that I like. if that makes sense.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And tell us more about that. So for those of us who are big-time Star Wars fans, we know about the Force, but your character uses something called Force Fu.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, they had a woman on set who helped you discover your way that you would do that, bring that force in. And so they used a lot of Kung Fu moves the fighting is all really based in Kung Fu. And then just finding your way of doing the Force, I guess. And I just trusted that I would know, but I did have some help by a dancer. They bring a dancer in to just show you how it feels through your whole body.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
you
choreography to it.
Figured that out and figured it out beautifully. So. And you have 3 kids.
I do.
What do they think about mom fighting in Star Wars?
Yeah, they're pretty excited. At this point in my career, it's like if I can thrill my kids, it's exciting for me. I love them so much, so they're really rooting for me, and they're so supportive, and they love Star Wars. So
yeah, a lot of us love Star Wars. You grew up watching Star Wars. Did you grow up watching Star Wars?
I remember going to the Star Wars movie. Remember when we used to stand in line, and there were lineups around the block for a movie? Which I think of as some of the most fondest memories of my childhood. I did when I was a kid, but as an adult, I haven't been watching the shows, but my husband and my kids do. So I'm always hearing about it. So when I found out I got this, they were so happy.
Love that. The whole family thrilled.
Yeah.
Can we talk about The Matrix
Sure.
for a little bit? I mean,
Of course.
25 years since the film debuted. How did that change your life?
It completely transformed my life. Obviously, career-wise, it gave me opportunity, put me on the map on another level that I wasn't at before that. But more so, it impacted me internally, going through the process of working through that and training and doing things that were very difficult and getting to know Keanu and Lawrence and Hugo and the directors and just having these relationships. It grew me, if that makes sense.
Well, and there's so much training involved in all of this.
Yeah.
You're really drawn to this kind of
it.
performance and work.
I do.
What do you love about it?
I love the mind of an athlete. I love being challenged physically. I love thinking I can't do something and having to find a way through. Earlier I said I'm a meditator. That's just I love going within my mind and overcoming things. I love athletes that do that. I love any human being that's able to do that. So
perfect for a Jedi.
There you go. I guess I was born for it.
But you mentioned that you found a dancer who helped you find your energy in the way that you did.
Yeah.
But it's watching the fight scenes. It's like dancing. It's choreography.
Yeah,
Serious choreography.
It really is, and it's telling a story. I love action so much because it's telling a story with your body. And I think I've really learned the mastering of that, or seen the mastering of that watching Keanu do the John Wick. His action is so profound and so deep and so rich in storytelling. So I'm very drawn to that. How do you tell a story with your body?
How many takes does that take?
A lot. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of takes.
Well, we appreciate you being here, giving us your take.
Thank you.
Because, we cannot wait to see this. Star Wars, The Acolyte, the debuts Tuesday with the Tuesday the 4th, June 4th, with the first 2 episodes exclusively on Disney+. Carrie Ann Moss, thank you for being here with us. And next, your first look at Robin's new documentary on the heroes of World War I. We'll be right back with more GMA. Back now, your first look at a new 2-part documentary series in time for this Memorial Day, whose executive producer is none other than our own Robin Roberts. The Great War sheds new light on the complex history of how America entered World War I, and you'll meet the heroes who helped change the course of history.
By 1917, the Allies are just a few steps away from losing this war.
It's American history never before seen in History Channel's The Great War.
There was a feeling that the bravery of American boys would turn the tide.
The 2-part documentary, set between 1917 and 1918, retells how the U.S. reluctantly entered World War I and emerged a global power.
Can't be a hero if I stay around here.
Produced in partnership with my production company, Rockin' Robin Productions, and through archival footage, expert interviews, and cinematic recreations, the heroism of 20th century soldiers is brought to life.
The story
of General Pershing, Horace Pippin, Michael Ellis, and Henry Johnson as these 4 stories that anchor around the entire 4-hour storytelling series. It all made sense and came together.
Henry Johnson of the Harlem Hellfighters fought off 40 Germans.
Henry Johnson, part of the African-American regiment known as the Harlem Hellfighters, earning France's highest battlefield award despite facing extreme adversity.
Is that hard-hitting Henry Johnson? Y'all talk about what you did out there. We can't wait to make our mark just like you. We all gotta do our part. Sounds like I inspire you to do yours.
These brave men helping change course to prevent the collapse of the Allies.
We want to win this war. There's no room for mistakes.
Now credited for their immense contributions.
At that time, America had never fought in a war of that nature. So it was like a Hail Mary. Today we would be sitting here with the world as we know it had Germany won.
Oh, looking so forward to seeing this. The Great War premieres tonight at 8 p.m. on the History Channel. The dangerous weather is on the move this morning. Meteorologist Brittany Bell from our New York station WABC is tracking the threat around the country. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning to you too. So unlike the East Coast, the Memorial Day forecast today out west will be much nicer. We're talking about seasonable temperatures ranging from the 60s all the way to around 106 degrees in Death Valley. But I want to keep in mind, if you have any plans on hiking across Phoenix, make sure to stay hydrated with temperatures climbing into the triple digits. If you're traveling farther east, get ready for severe storms across the I-95 corridor, a chance for a few showers too across portions of Texas. And looking at Dallas, 94 degrees. Back over to southern Texas, record heat is possible. We're talking about an excessive heat warning with real field temperatures approaching 118 degrees. Record heat possible again across for Florida and also for Denver, a high of 77 with mostly sunny skies.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and one father is honoring his late son's legacy and love of hockey with a small gesture of kindness that can make a big difference.
Moments Rob Thorson will forever cherish.
That a boy hates.
A hockey dad cheering on his son Hayden in goal.
It was his passion for certain. He was really good at it, and he was on his path with it.
But Hayden died by suicide at the age of 16. In his honor, Hayden's family creating the HT40 Foundation, a combination of his initials and jersey number, and launching what they call the shoulder check, inspired by the kind of kid Hayden was.
He was a hand on a shoulder guy. He wanted people to feel comfortable, to feel welcome. He was the guy that made it a point to check on everybody else.
The Shoulder Check initiative getting its name from one of Hayden's greatest loves, hockey.
And that's what led to this entire idea that we're building in the Shoulder Check. It really is just to continue to do what he did his entire life, you know?
The project putting vulnerability and connection first.
Reach out, check in, make contact.
During a time the Surgeon General calls an epidemic of loneliness.
Life is not an individual sport, it's a team sport. And so if one member of the team is not doing well, the whole team is likely to suffer. Everyone needs a friend in life, and Shoulder Check reminds people that there are people around you to help you.
As for Rob, his goal now, to spread the Shoulder Check initiative far and wide, leading with kindness and compassion first.
We're going to make kindness a contact sport.
Something Hayden would have been proud of.
If a couple years down the road, we've just helped in some way allow people to be a little more vulnerable, that would be a massive success for us.
And the Shoulder Check initiative has already received support from many pro hockey players and is now being adopted by athletes from colleges across the country. And a middle school pilot program is also underway. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please call or text the National Lifeline at 988. It's a very important resource. Rebecca?
Yes, Whit, and I love how he said make kindness a contact sport.
Absolutely.
Make kindness a contact sport. Okay, we're switching gears now with a look at the trailer for the new ABC News Studios documentary Brats, about the Brat Pack, the young stars who dominated pop culture in the 80s. Brats was directed by Andrew McCarthy, one of those young stars, and premieres right here on Hulu on June 13th. Take a look.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different. On June 10th, 1985, New York Magazine published Hollywood's Brat Pack. I just remember seeing that cover and thinking, oh. From then on, my career and the career of everyone who was involved was branded to the Brat Pack.
I'm really sorry that article had to come out.
I've never talked to anybody about what that was like. So I thought it might be interesting to try and contact everyone who was in the Brat Pack. Hey, Emilio Estevez. This is Andrew McCarthy calling you. Hey, Allie. Hey, Demi. Hey, Molly. Let's call Rob. Hello. Judd? Me? You around? You were not interested in talking about the Brat Pack for years.
I turned everything down.
How come you're talking to me?
Because you called me. It was time that we clear the air on a couple of things.
I love your stuff, Bob. Hey, thank you. I hated the Brat Pack for decades. What a disaster. If you could have the Brat Pack name not exist, would you?
It really irritated me. They said, what's more important to you, the movie or your life? And I said, the movie, Andrew.
Have you talked to the others? The others, like, again, it feels like a cult or something.
Yeah. Why did we take it as an offense? As opposed to like
the brat.
Because we were young.
We were afraid we were brats, you know? Are you in the Brat Pack?
I'm Brat Pack adjacent.
That's what I was saying.
I am not in the Brat Pack.
Don't you?
Crush on you back in the day?
You did not, Andrew. No, you did not.
Being in the Brat Pack not only changed all of our lives, it changed what entertainment is. I mean, I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything.
Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium. There were moments.
We could have. 1985, I think we could have.
So what are you filming?
Oh, we're just doing this documentary.
What's it about?
Ancient history.
We are back now, and we are firing up the grill for Memorial Day with chef, restaurateur, and best-selling author Tyler Florence. He has a new cookbook called American Grill, goes on sale tomorrow, and he is here to share some recipes to raise your barbecue game. Tyler, always great to see you. Happy Memorial Day.
You as well. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys. I so appreciate it. Look at my cookbook in Times Square.
Times Square.
Right? Exactly.
You did it.
Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah. How many American Grill?
And you have 17 cookbooks.
Yes.
This one's focused on grilling. Why?
Exactly. So when I cook at home, this is what I do, and all my family knows exactly what I'm talking about. I fire up the grill. Morning, noon, or night, rain or shine, I love to grill.
You're the grill guy.
I'm the grill guy, and I think a lot of people out there love the backyard cooking experience. So this whole book is going to be for you this summer. American Grill, 125 recipes for mastering live fire cooking. And today we're going to make chicken paillard, which is one of my favorite dishes.
Yeah.
Ever.
So while we're looking at it, it just looks, it smells amazing here. So chicken paillard, it's if people not familiar, it sounds fancy, but it's actually pretty simple.
It's super fancy. Paillard just means to slice it thin and grill it.
Okay.
So you can, and traditionally when you see chicken paillard, it's usually like chicken that's pounded really thin like this, or sliced thin, which is actually a really fantastic technique inside the book. And it's brushed with a little bit of olive oil, and then you want to put it on the grill, and it's going to cook for maybe like 3-4 minutes on each side because it's so thin.
Nice.
Yeah, it cooks really quickly, so it stays nice and juicy. You get that really delicious charred flavor, and it's fantastic.
And then you're serving it with a beautiful salad with some fennel in it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna hand you those tongs. You can kind of flip our chicken right here while we're doing this, right? So the salad, now you can build the chicken paillard with just about anything, right? So on my particular recipe inside American Grill, we're gonna start off with fresh arugula, and then we're gonna add fennel to this, which is a really, really nice crunch, and might be a slightly unexpected ingredient, but I love the fresh flavor, slight anise note to that, sort of almost like a licorice note to it, but it's really, really delicious.
I love the grapefruit that you're putting in there too for a little citrus.
Yep, nice big vitamin C pop, really nice and bright. The acidity from the grapefruit's really, really great. And now we're going to start adding some other delicious salty flavors to this. You've got green olives. which are delicious. We've got some tomatoes. Those are starting to pop right now. You're starting to see those at the farmer's market.
Yeah, perfect timing for summer.
Exactly. Got a little caper for another little salty pop too, and then also we're going to add nice feta cheese, which is fantastic.
And then this was interesting too. You top it off with a little chive oil.
Yeah. So chive oil. So chive oil. It's just. Are you ready for this? Very, very
I'm ready.
Chopped chives and olive oil. Boom. Couldn't be more simple than that.
Wow.
So that's going to be a simple little dressing.
Even I can make that.
There you go. And Rebecca, I'm going to let you sort of just together. So now what we're going to do is take this brush here, and you're going to finish the chive oil. See this, right? So now you're going to start to lick the chicken.
Oh, there we go.
So now we're talking, right?
Whole studio's getting in on it. Yeah.
I love the sizzle that we can hear over here.
Yep. Sounds really great.
There's a lot of potato salad fans here today.
Right here.
And you obviously love your mother-in-law because you named one after her.
So big shout out to Marjorie Clark. She's in Marin County, California, where we live right now. I think this is the greatest potato salad recipe. It's her recipe. I made a few tweaks to it. I put capers in mine, so it's not traditional, but I call it Marge's potato salad nonetheless. I think it's really delicious. Starts off with Yukon Gold potatoes, cooked for about 20 minutes. Halfway through, you want to add the eggs to that. The eggs get tossed in here. And another really great way to do this is with a box grater.
Smart.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, right? Whoa, isn't that clever? Right?
You could even maybe get your kid involved.
You sure could.
Careful of those hands.
Yeah. Exactly, the old knuckle buster. It could happen. But then the dressing's really, really simple as well. You've got a little bit. I'll let you guys mix that together when we add everything.
And we got to try this because we're almost to our break here,
we're almost out of this. So quickly as we're putting this together.
So as we put this together, I just want everybody to know, again, Tyler's new cookbook, American Grill, is out tomorrow, and you can get these recipes at goodmorningamerica.com. We're going to eat, Tyler.
Yes, I cannot wait
for this. Great food truck race as well, right?
Great food truck race. Season 17 is
more than
15 years. That show is going to drop on June 30th at 8 o'clock. Ooh. We're so excited for that whole show. It is the adventure of a lifetime. We drove 1,500 miles from Houston, Texas, all the way to Miami, around the Gulf of Mexico. That is, if you love outdoor adventure and travel. We also just got nominated for a Critics' Choice Award.
Congratulations, and this is phenomenal.
We are out of time.
Thank you so much, Tyler. We'll be right back.